A few days ago, Kevin Garnett called Jordan Poole the new James Harden on an episode of KG Certified. In response to this, a lot of people just laughed and said this take was ridiculous. But I don't think it is. It was made much more believable in Wednesday's preseason game against the Knicks, where he exploded for 29 points in the first half. He also did plenty of damage at the free throw line, in a style that was reminiscent of Harden. He was honestly pretty efficient as well, shooting 57% from the field and 50% from three. It continued into the second half, as he finished the third quarter with 41 points, before getting pulled because it's the preseason. He's going to get a lot of shots on the Wizards this season, and his scoring could get as high as 30 points per game. That's a statement that KG also clearly agrees with, as he said he's looking for Poole to be top 5 in scoring this season. Harden was stuck behind Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook in OKC, in a similar way that Poole was behind Curry and Klay in the Golden State backcourt. Despite being behind the Splash Brothers, he still managed to average over 20 points per game. The only other real proven offensive option on the Wizards right now is Kyle Kuzma, and I think the team will often defer to Poole. Harden's scoring average jumped about 9 points in his first year with the Rockets, and he made his first All-Star game. I think we could see something nearly identical with Poole, seeing his scoring jump to nearly 30 points per game, and if the Wizards overachieve, he could make his first All-Star game as well. Despite what the naysayers may say, the Jordan Poole-James Harden comparisons aren't that crazy. Now let's take a deeper look at why. Before we get into the pool party in the nation's capital, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you've watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. Let's take a deeper look at what Kevin Garnett said about Poole before getting into a statistical comparison. He started by saying this about Poole: "I think Jordan Poole feels like he's been held back. That's how I thought James Harden felt when he came out of OKC. James Harden came out of OKC like, yeah, y'all ain't seen this. Jordan Poole feel like, yeah, they done had me in the basement," Garnett continued. "You know what I'm saying? I was their screaming eagle in the back they didn't want to unpackage and open me up. They didn't even want to let me ferment." I think in terms of mentality, the comparison is obvious. Both guys clearly felt they were being held back in their first locations, as you could tell by both attitude and shot selection. With the shots that he was taking, Poole clearly felt he was at the same level as his teammate Steph Curry, if not just below. He'd pull from just past half court, take circus shots, and consistently try to take defenders one-on-one off the dribble. He honestly often succeeded, as there were stretches where you just couldn't stop him. There was a strong push at one point to call him the third Splash Brother, but it didn't end up sticking. Then Garnett went into a prediction for Poole, saying, "I look for Jordan Poole to be top 5 in scoring this year, and if he don't shoot more than 25 balls, I'll be shocked. And if he don't have not one but a couple 60 balls this year, I will be shocked." Saying you'll be shocked if someone doesn't score 60 multiple times is quite the bold stance to take, but it seems like Garnett really expects Poole to rise up into the Harden and Lillard level of upper echelon scoring. Honestly, I respect it. He's going to have nights where he gets really hot early on, as he did on Wednesday night, and then the team will defer to him more often and let him get as high as he can get. Now let's take a deeper look into the Poole and Harden comparison. In the year before being traded to Houston, James Harden averaged 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists per game on his way to winning Sixth Man of the Year. He helped lead the Thunder to the NBA Finals as the team's realistic third option. He was pretty efficient as well, shooting 49% from the field and 39% from three. It was the most efficient season of Harden's career. Then he was traded to Houston shortly before the 2013 NBA season. His numbers shot up to 26 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds per game on his way to making his first All-Star game. His efficiency did drop to 44% from the field and 37% from three, but that was still respectable. He attempted 7 more shots per game than the year prior and shot 4 more free throws per game, going from 6 to 10 per game. He led the league in total free throw attempts in his first year with Houston. The Rockets won 11 more games than the year prior and made the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. Now let's compare that to Poole. Last season, he averaged 20 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds per game. Those are already better than Harden's last year in OKC, and it came with Poole arguably having more guys ahead of him. Steph, Klay, and Wiggins were all likely ahead of him in the offensive pecking order. He was noticeably less efficient than Harden, shooting 43% from the field and 34% from three. He also helped lead a team to the finals, but unlike Harden, his team would win, and Poole was a large reason for that. To have a similar jump to Harden, he would need to have a 9-point increase and 2-assist increase, which would mean Poole would be averaging 29 points and 7 assists per game, which admittedly does sound kind of lofty. Those are basically the numbers that Steph Curry put up last season. But if Poole puts up 25 shots per game like Garnett expects, I don't think the numbers are all that crazy. Last season, Poole put up about 1.25 points per shot. If he took 25 shots per game with the same efficiency, that would put him at 31.3 points per game. Let's assume he also shoots about 10 free throws per game, which is 5 more than last season. At a 90% clip, that would mean he'd average about 36 points per game. That's assuming the efficiency doesn't get any better, which it very realistically could. Let's say he doesn't take 25 shots, but 7 more per game like Harden did. That would bring Poole's scoring down from an expected 36 points per game to about 34. Again, this is all assuming the efficiency doesn't go up. So when you put it in perspective, it's not really all that crazy. He's going to put up monster numbers this season if allowed the number of shots that many people expect, and could become the new James Harden, like Garnett says. In an era with a higher pace, that means even more scoring than we saw with James, which is crazy. The numbers are going to be kind of wild. The Jordan Poole-James Harden comparison isn't all that crazy. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.